I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and today I'm driving what I think is one of the best value luxury sedans that you can buy, the 2017 Lexus IS. Well, although this IS has been around for a few years now, it still cuts a really unique shape among its rather conservative rivals because it has a nice athletic stance and it's got some touches of cool, like the tick-style LED lights down there. And the sharp-eyed among you will notice that the IS has actually been in for a slight refresh recently. So it's got a revised front end, new headlights and new tail lights. You can still get the IS with a variety of engines. There's a base model turbo, a hybrid and a V6. And this is the car I think you should buy, the V6 IS350 F Sport. Well, the IS has had a few changes on the inside as well. So jump in with me now and let's see what this Lexus has to offer. Jump into the IS and the first impression is one of real quality. Everything in here feels heavy and well made, from the small soft steering wheel to the finishing up here on the dash top. The IS has also always had relatively sporty seats, and these ones are no different. So the buckets are finished in relatively soft leather and they're actually heated and cooled across the range, which I absolutely love. And they are comfortable, but back bolstering that can move up and down as well as in and out would really help them over long trips. And actually the passenger seat misses out on bolstering altogether. Up here on the dash, the small old screen has been replaced by a much bigger and better 12-inch unit, still controlled by the Lexus remote touch system down here. Now that's not as good as BMW's iDrive, but I actually didn't find it too annoying this time. I'm probably just getting used to it. However, any annoyances from that are really counterbalanced by the absolutely superb Mark Levinson stereo in this car. Now, when it comes to practicality, it's a bit of a mixed bag. So up here, you've got two cup holders mounted fairly high. You do have a decent sized central bin with two USB ports and good sized door bins. However, you get the feeling from this car that it's a pretty tight driver-focused cabin. And that's a theme that continues in the back. Jump into the back of the IS and, well, it's not cavernous. If you've got smaller kids or you only need to use these seats occasionally, you'll be absolutely fine. But if you regularly need to put adults or taller teens into the back of the IS, well, you probably need a bigger car. For me, at 6'0", I've got just enough headroom, just enough leg room, but not really any toe room sitting back here. And you can really only fit two people because the transmission tunnel is so high. But you do actually get Lexus's really sumptuous carpeting both front and back in this car. And at least back here, you get your own air vents. You get a flip down console with cup holders that pop out, which is great. And it's good that these are here because there aren't actually any door bins back here. Open up the boot on the IS and you'll find that it's actually got a really competitive amount of space for this class. There's actually 480 litres back there, and it's a really nice square shape with a good opening, and that makes it easy to fit heaps of stuff in there. Now there is a bit of a lip to get your suitcases over, so if they're heavy that'll be a slight annoyance. And there aren't actually any shopping bag hooks, but there are a number of tie-down points, so that's at least something if you want to pop a net in here. Plus those back seats do fold if you need to carry some flat pack furniture. You actually have a few options when it comes to buying a Lexus IS. So there's the three engines, a 2-litre turbo, a 2.5-litre petrol-electric hybrid, and a 3.5-litre V6. And then there are the trim grades. At the bottom, there's the luxury, then there's this F Sport, and at the top, the sports luxury. The least expensive way into an IS is the IS200 Turbo Luxury, and that's $59,340, but that car is still really well equipped. However, I recommend that you do a couple of things if you really want to enjoy your IS. The first thing is to go straight for the V6 upgrade. It's about $6,000, but that's well worth it because the V6 is by far the best engine. The second thing you should do is you should go for the F Sport grade because it looks absolutely fantastic. And those two things bring this car to just over $74,000 plus another $2,500 for the sunroof. This update to the IS was largely an aesthetic one, and the engine lineup has remained the same. And as I said when I drove the last version of this car, although the turbo and hybrid options are pleasant enough, the engine you definitely want to go for is this IS350 with its 3.5-litre naturally aspirated V6. The 6 is a great engine. It sounds really nice and it pulls really strongly. It's also pretty quick. It dispatches the 0 to 100 sprint in under 6 seconds. And there's 233 kilowatts of power and 378 newton meters of torque. If that torque figure sounds a little low, that's because there's no turbo, but I don't even mind. As I said, it pulls really strongly, it sounds great, so I didn't really miss one this week. The downside to not having a turbo is actually the economy. So the IS350 will do about 8.5 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway, and just over 11 litres per 100 kilometres in town in my experience. The IS has long been the best handling Lexus, and that's still the case here. Lexus steering can initially feel a bit artificial, but the ratio is super quick, and the fast video gamey steering makes the Lexus super manoeuvrable in town and pretty fun to hustle along a country road as well. Plus, this car rides really well, but the standard setup comes pretty close to perfection, and it's also quiet in here, which means you can really enjoy this superb Mark Levinson stereo. The update has also stocked the IS to the brim with advanced safety features, so this car comes with things like active cruise control, blind spot monitoring, autonomous emergency braking, and a subtle lane keep assist. It's the strong value for money that will drive most people through the doors of a Lexus dealer to test out an IS. But the best news is that the IS, especially the IS350, is also a very good car to drive and to like. With good looks, a silky engine and balanced dynamics, the IS350 really is a car that appeals to both heart and head.